Hello knitters, Phelan from Strands Knitting Studio in San Clemente, California. And today I have what's on my needle, which is also a class, some classes and some ideas on setting goals for your knitting year. So stay tuned. Okay, on my needles, which is going to be a class, and I'll talk about that in a bit, is an intarsia. I'm doing intarsia, and it's a bunny pillow, and I'll put a picture up here, but here's my bunny in my pillow. So it's gonna be a bunny pillow. Isn't he cute? And in intarsia, see, I have sections of colors. So I have yarn just for this section, yarn just for this section, and yarn just for this section. You can sort of see my little tails here from my yarns. And you just, there's a little technique that you twist when you start the new yarn. You just cross over and you go. This isn't hard. And you'll see that the bunny pillow actually had 3 bunnies. That's more difficult because now you have, I think it's like 9 threads going, which still isn't hard, but some people that'll just be too much just because there's too many threads. So I just made a 1 bunny guy. So he's gonna end up being 11 by 11. And I'm probably gonna go to the store and see if I can find a pillow to sew this on top of. But you can also, of course, knit the back of it, which I think striping the 2 colors you use on the back would be adorable. So yeah, so that's what's on my needles. I expect this to, it has to be done by this weekend. So next time I have a video, this has to be done because I got something else I gotta move on to. But that's sort of the new Easter project, which again, Easter's April 5th this year, very early. And it's intarsia, and yeah, so that's that. Classes coming up. The first class is going to be a Ravelry class. So, you know, Ravelry is everything knit, crochet, fiber. It's an enormous database. The entire world, all the companies constantly puts patterns in there and projects in there. And it's got filters all that you can, so you can filter what you want to actually look at. And you don't have to just look at everything. And it's an amazing site to keep and look. And I buy my patterns through there just so that I know where they are. They're always there. Anything you find on Etsy or Pinterest, you will probably find that pattern on Ravelry. And that's where I would just buy it through Ravelry. And then, because then I don't have to go, where did I get that pattern? Is it over here? Is it over here? And it's just always over here. So, so anyways, I'm going to do a Ravelry class, and that's going to be January 20th. So it's going to be Wednesday, January 20th. Now, you're going to be at your house. I'm going to be at my house. We're going to be on Zoom because that way you can see what I'm doing on my computer and you can follow along. So it's going to be the 20th from 6 to 7. And again, you're at your house and I'm at my house, and we'll just I just need your phone number. So if you call in and leave a message, leave your phone number. That way I can text you the link when class is going to start. And I'm also going to do this for free. So this is no cost. Everybody just needs to know how to do this. And so, so Ravelry on Wednesday, January 20th from 6 to 7. Then we have the Fix It class will be February 1st, which is a Sunday from 10 to 12. And so Fix It class. So you need to already know how to be comfortable with your knits and your purls. If you're a beginning knitter, you've only knitted maybe a few weeks, it's too early for you to take this class. It'll be like, you're just going to go, oh my God, what are they talking about? But as long as you've knitted for a couple months now and you're pretty comfortable with your knits and your purls, and anything more than that, because even if you are a pretty good knitter, I guarantee you'll learn something in this class that you didn't know. So you'll learn to pick up stitches. We'll learn to, I can't remember what's all in the list. Anyways, there's a bunch of stuff in the list of things I'll cover. Picking up stitches between knits and purls, and reading your knitting, and yeah, I can't remember everything I got on the list. But anyways, so Fix Your Knitting is going to be February 1st from 10 to 12, which is a Sunday. Okay, and then this class, the pillow class, is going to be February 15th from 10 to 12, which is also a Sunday. So this class to make the pillow will be on February, what did I say, 15th, February 15th from 10 to 12. I don't need to go into much more. You'll need 2 colors. And depending on what yarn you're using, we'll dedicate, choose what needle you're going to use, and I'll put down my information under the class stuff and as we get closer to it and all that kind of good stuff. So bunny class, February I can't remember numbers, February 15th from 10 to 12. Okay, goals for a knitting year. What do you want to accomplish for your knitting year? And it can be very simple, like I just want to learn one thing, like I want to learn to cable this year, or I want to knit a sweater this year, or a vest this year. I want to knit a hat this year, anything. And it can also be very complicated. Now, there are knitters who go, like if you go on YouTube right now and go, my knitting plans for 2026, you're going to see lots of people, lots of plans, including very specific patterns and yarns that they already have and that kind of stuff. So you can get as crazy and intricate about this as you want. I tend to keep things rather simple because here's my problem with, like, I have things I want to knit, but there's not that many. But I find when new things come out, that's what I want to knit. So if I already have this all huge plan, that means anything new comes out, I'm like, well, how am I going to stick this in here? So I don't do that big of a plan, but I do mine into mostly techniques categories because that's really good. Like learning how to do magic loop, learning how to knit in the round, learning how to seam up my sweater, things like that. So, and then there's a stitch techniques, which is, I really like to, that's a really good place to focus because there's many different kinds of projects that you could use that technique for. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some classes that are technique classes, and they're going to be small. Most of them are going to be small projects, either like a cup cozy or a pot holder, something like that, where you learn the technique, and then we'll find a pattern like whatever you want to do. I want to knit a cable hat, and then you now know how to do a cable, and now we can knit a cable hat. Or I want to do Fair Isle, and you learn a Fair Isle in your cozy, and then I can knit a Fair Isle sweater. You can, absolutely can. So some of the things I'm going to cover is double knitting. So double knitting, I'll put pictures up here so you can see. Double knitting, you're only carrying one yarn at a time, but you're slipping stitches and stuff, and you're actually making two fabrics at the same time. So one side, well, you got two colors going. One side, the main, let's say you're doing black and white. One side, the main color is going to be black, and then the other color is going to be white. Flip it over, the main color is going to be white, and the thing will be black. But you do this all at once. It's the coolest thing. And there's some really, really lovely double knit patterns, which you're probably looking at right now. And so it's a very fun technique. It really is a very fun technique. So there's a pot holder for that. And then there is Fair Isle. I'm going to do a cozy, which you're going to knit in the round. So that may get you doing your magic loop, because you'll have to use magic loop because it's not very big. Cup cozy is only that big. So you'll learn magic loop and Fair Isle. And Fair Isle is mostly done in the round. You can do Fair Isle back and forth, but the purl side of a Fair Isle is really just not fun. It's so much not fun that back in whenever this happened in the Scandinavian countries, which they do heavy Fair Isle sweaters. I mean, they've got sweaters that are just, Norwegian sweaters, like the whole sweater's Fair Isle. And there's no way they're going back and forth on pieces. So they did it so much where they actually knit a tube. If it's a cardigan, they will do something different right in the middle so that the yarn holds, and they will actually cut. It's called steeking. Cut it down the middle. They'll cut it down for the sleeves, and then of course the sleeves are in a circle, and that way they don't have to purl with a Fair Isle, because purling and Fair Isle is just not that fun. Now you can do it, and I'll put up this is a sweater that we have in the thing, and yes, you have to purl and Fair Isle, but it's also not that much of it. Most of the sweater is just stripes. So, but you got this little section down at the bottom that you just do it, and you do it, and you can. But to do like a whole big sweater, in the round's much easier. So we're going to do a Fair Isle cup cozy. They're very cute. Here's some right here. And then there's cables, and we're going to do a cup cozy for that, and it's knit flat, and then I'll show you how you'll probably seam it or put two buttons on it, and then now you know how to do cables. So I'm going to do little projects like that to teach you the technique, and then you can go on to a bigger project using that technique. So that's sort of my plan for the next few months, however long that lasts. And yeah, so what are you going to focus on for knitting this year? So I'm going to mention the class, blanket class, because you still have time to sign up. Even though we've ordered the yarn, it's a week and a half before the class. It's a week from this Sunday. So you have plenty of time to come in, and you only need one color for the first month and you need 2 colors for the second month. So it's not like you can't get your yarn in. And so the blanket class is still option. I think I have 8 or 9 people right now, which is perfect, but I can take 1 or 2 more. Yeah, like 1 or 2 more. And the blanket class is a good way to do the goals for your year. Fits in perfectly because every month we get 2 squares a month, and every month you're learning different stitches. You're learning to read your patterns, you're learning to track your patterns, and mostly this is just about becoming a more competent knitter. Like, you're much more comfortable with knitting. You'll be able to start stuff by yourself without needing me. And yeah, it is a great class. It is really a great class. So there's a week left. There's a week left that you have to sign up. And as I said, I have like 1, maybe 2, it just sort of depends. 1 more spot left. And yeah, so I'm gonna put the blanket video at the end. So after the credits, the blanket video will run. And so you can get all the details and see pictures and all that kind of good stuff. But if you were sitting on the fence, you need to get off of it. Okay, and that's it for today. It's beautiful outside here in San Clemente. Beautiful, it's warm, it's like up in the 80s. It's crazy, and blue skies, it's beautiful. And lots of fun happening in here, lots of people. I have a lot of brand new knitters starting, so that's exciting. And so yeah, so we're buzzing here. And so I think it's a good idea to come in and see what's going on, pick out your new project, think about your goals, what can you do, and come on in and enjoy the fun. Okay, blanket class. So this is my 8th year running a blanket class. It is, we do 2 squares a month, except for the first month I'm taking it down to 1 square. And then there'll be a month where you have 3 squares. But every square is different. And this is the smaller version. This is the original version, which was 16 blocks. We now have 20 blocks. And that's what it is. And it's 2 squares a month, and you learn. It's really a project for learning. That's really the reason you're doing it. You end up with a beautiful blanket at the end, but that's not like the main. You're not making this to make a beautiful blanket. You're making this to become a more confident knitter, learn to knit better, learn to read patterns, learn to fix your mistakes a little better. All sorts of different, learn things you like to do and things you don't like to do. Like, I love to do lace. I hate to do lace. You'll figure that out as you go through these boxes, because we have some of everything for everybody. And then actually by mid-year, somewhere around April, May and June, all of a sudden everything really clicks. The first couple months, it's like deer in the headlights. You're gonna feel, oh my God. But believe me, we work through it. It happens every year, and we work through it. And by March and April, it's calmed down. We get it more. Everything is fine. You have new stitches, but at least the basics are taken care of now. You're not, struggling with basics. So just be prepared for that. And it's what happens every year. So you're not weird or you can't do it because you're struggling the first couple months. That's normal for most everybody. Now, of course, there'll be some people in here that don't struggle as much as you do because they've knitted longer or whatever. That's okay. Do not compare yourself to other people. Just keep going. Just keep plugging. What if you can't make all the classes? Because everybody always asks that. Yes, almost everybody has to miss at least 1 class. That happens. I give you the blocks. You'll work on the blocks. If you need help, you come to a workshop and I can help you. And you'll often see people doing workshops with their blocks. It's also a way sometimes for some people just to get dedicated knitting time to work on their blocks. Okay, so this is how we're going to structure it right now. So right now you're going to call in, sign up, say I want to start, then give us your phone number and your email. If you're leaving a message, phone number, email. Then you're gonna come after the first of the year, no, come in before the first of the year. After the first of the year to the 11th, you can come in and pick out your colors. So we use a DK weight yarn, we use Chow. It's a great merino, it's a super wash merino. It wears beautifully. I mean, this is Chow, this is 8 years old and and it's in a knit store. There's hardly any pilling or anything. It looks beautiful. So this yarn really, really wears really well. And you're gonna pick out 3 colors, and you're going to be buying 5 skeins of 3 colors, and then you'll have 1 accent color. And so you'll come in, you'll pick your colors, and then Christine won't be ordering the yarn. You're not going to take the yarn home when you come in the first time, because we don't want to have to run out of a color that everybody's going to want, and we can't even show it to them. So we'll have a bowl with all the colors. You'll play with the colors. You'll say, this is what I want. She's going to order them. So you need to be in by the 11th, because on Monday the 12th, she's going to order. And then it'll take about that week to come in. And then you're going to come in the following weekend probably, and get your yarn, and you're going to cast on and knit 5 rows of seed stitch for your first block to come to class with. Okay, so that's how this is going to work. We also need 2 size 8 needles, because most of the time you'll have 2 blocks going. So you need 2 sets of needles. You can't share the needles. So you got to have 2 sets of needles, 3 colors, 5 skeins each, accent color. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Okay, I've had so much fun. I've met all these lovely people. I've learned how to do baubles, make an owl, like, what was that one where you'd go down below and then, okay. That was fun, and I've learned patience. But overall, it's been the best.
2, 3.
I love this class because I learned color work for the first time so that I can make this.
Yay!
I was always scared of it, but it turned out great.
And what colorway is that?
This is the
San
Clemente Seaside on here.
So yay!
So soft. Love it.
Amazing, amazing. Best thing ever. Thank you.
Okay, so this is my very first knitting project. I've never knitted before. I've only done crochet, and now look at all that I have done. I'm so proud of myself, and I have learned so much from Phelan. This has just been a wonderful class, and I'm so excited, and the blanket is getting close to being done. Thank you, Phelan.
To you.
See me?
Okay.
Well, I took the blanket class this year, and it was awesome. Thank you, Phelan, and thank you from all the ladies that were in class with me. We had a great time. I learned how to do color work. Never done color work before, and I learned how to do some cable and all these interesting designs. So I encourage anybody to take the class, because it's a lot of fun and you learn a lot.
Hi, I have knitted before, but I learned this blanket. I've learned so many stitches, and it's been so much fun learning everything and spending time with friends. Phelan's a great teacher, and I spend every weekend with her, so it's a lot of fun.
Hi, I am loving the square class. It has been so fantastic. Been knitting about a year, and this class has given me so much confidence to pick up a pattern. And if I'm not coming to workshop on Thursday, and it might be a Monday, I'm not intimidated to look at the patterns and know from the squares different stitches, different pattern types, and it has been so fantastic. It's so creative. You basically can't mess up, and it's just tons and tons of fun. I highly encourage anyone who wants to know more about different pattern types, different stitch types, or just do something really creative and fun to definitely sign up for this class. I've loved it. Good luck.
Well, first time knitter, and look what I did. And you can do it too. It was really fun. I learned a lot, very challenging. Teacher was great, available 24/7, and I've learned so much. Now I feel like as I finish this, I can pretty much follow any pattern and choose what I want to knit.
So when I started blanket class, all I knew how to do was knit and purl. First square, cable square. Next thing I knew, I was knitting an awesome sweater with the cable down the back. I've learned how to do lace work. I've learned how to do slip stitches. I've learned how to do color work. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it. I can't even believe I can pick up a pattern now and not go, huh? it's awesome. I've learned so much, and I'm actually sad that it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready to learn more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for today. Christine and I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, a really Happy New Year. We thank you so much for all your love and support this year. Again, we can't do this without you guys, and we've just had so much fun and made so many wonderful things and lots of laughter, and thank you very much for being a part of our little studio and our family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.